Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's Wednesday evening. This is my first time doing this show at 7 p.m. rather than 8 p.m. Looks like we've got a fair amount of people in the chat already, so it looks like it's probably not too bad to do this show at 7. We'll stick with it. I think. We'll see. You never know, stuff could come up and then I'll have to go back to 8 p.m. again, but hopefully not. But thank you guys all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Another awesome episode, hopefully, of Merlo's movie Massacre. We'll just have some fun chat. It'll be pretty casual tonight, mind you, but nothing too crazy to talk about. But it's a cool topic. Let's see who we've got in the chat so far. We've got Susie Lopez saying hello. We got Christian Spencer. Thank you, Chris. Christian Spencer. Chris Keene is in the chat. It's been a while since we've seen you, Chris. So thanks for tuning in. We've missed you. Michelle Appollonia is here. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? Glad you can make it. I think the time change works more for you, doesn't it? Who else we got here? Miss Carter, MC Miss Carter. I'm pretty sure that's who you are. I think you changed your YouTube name. So Miss Carter, Drayton Sawyer, Jared, and that's who we've got so far. So not a bad start. I hope you guys are okay with this time change. And let me know if it's no good. You guys can say, hey, I wish you were back at 8. And that's all good. I mean, because I had tried doing some shows earlier in the day. And most of them would we would get nobody, but the last time I did a trailer reaction, I think for the full trailer for It's Me, Billy. By the way, we had a great discussion about that last week. Go check out last week's episode if you didn't get a chance. But last time, when I did a trailer reaction to It's Me, Billy, that was a little earlier too. I think it was around 5 p.m. that I did that. And we had a decent turnout for that one. So I thought, okay, we'll try this. And now I actually have the opportunity to do it this early. So we'll stick with it. Again, I wish I could have a set day of the week that I could do these shows, but it is what it is, and it's better than nothing for now. Feltrick Fence is in the chat as well. Hey, man, thank you for tuning in. Hey, man, I don't know if you're a man or... I never know who... Some of these people, I don't know if they're men or women. We talked about that last week. Degree centigrade. Still don't know if you're a guy or gal. Let me know. I like to know people's real names if I can too. So there you go. It's great that we have Michelle in the chat because with Michelle in the chat, we can talk about Breathless Beauties, right? If you haven't seen her awesome stuff yet, make sure you check it out. She's really got some amazing work that she does. Custom horror dolls that she makes herself. Pretty awesome. You send her a message. Her links are in the description. Go check them out. I love them. I absolutely love them. I got my, I don't know if you've noticed, they're, Michelle, but I've got your links. Was it links or Jinx? I can't remember if it was links or Jinx. Sorry. Displayed right here on my dresser. Now that as you can see, my room has changed a bit. We've had to move the dresser here. Fun stuff. But yeah, it's a good place for me to put Jinx. Or links. No, I think it's Jinx. I don't know. Sorry about that. Sorry, Michelle. Awesome stuff, though. So go check out Breathless Beauties. Her Instagram and Facebook are in the description. I see we've got Carlos from the Lazy Reviewer in as well, and Stephanie Diaz. Thank you for joining as well. It's awesome. Carlos from Lazy Reviewer has a pretty cool channel himself. He looks at a lot of different films, and it's pretty cool. Go check him out if you can, and give him a like and subscribe. And also make sure you like and subscribe to this channel if you can. If you haven't already, of course. Most of you are not newcomers here tonight, though. In fact, I think everybody's been here before from what I've seen so far. So I don't expect you to subscribe again. Unless you can unsubscribe and subscribe if you want to. I'm making no sense right now, am I? Maybe the earlier time is no good for me. Who knows, right? We'll find out. We'll find out as we go along. Also, a shout out. I got to give a shout out to our other Michelle, who's not here tonight yet. She might show up. You never know. You never know. Michelle Blasky, she does artwork, and her page is called Miss 44. I think she named it after her rock band. She has like a punk rock band, or she did. Don't quote me on that. You have to ask her. And she does this really interesting artwork. I love it. It's very different. Very different. I love the cow. She's got these cows. I just love them. I think they're cool. The cow with the shotgun. I don't know. I almost want to buy this one from her. I know, and she's got the leather face here too, but I don't know. I dig that cow with the shotgun. I think that's my favorite one of her. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. There's something really cool about it. I love it. So go check her out. Her Facebook page is in the description as well. Cool stuff. I like to support the artists when I can. And speaking of other artists, we've got a bunch of crowdfunding campaigns still going on. I like to give these guys all a good shout out if I can. All these links are in the description. 2 Halloween fan films, Halloween Evil Lives, and The Haddonfield Nightmare by Braden Timmons. He just did a cool chat today on his YouTube channel talking about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film a bit. Go check that out if you haven't already. He's got a pretty cool channel, so definitely go check him out. And he's making a really cool looking Halloween fan film set after the events of H2O, which I think is kind of cool. Even though H2O is not really one of my favorite Halloween films, if I'm being honest, but I think there's a cool idea to set a fan film many years after the events of H2O, so that's kind of cool. And then Halloween Evil Lives is just set after the original. It's set many years after the original. I think it's supposed to follow Laurie Strode and even Dr. Loomis, I think. Don't quote me on that, but their links are in the description for their Indiegogo campaigns. Go check them out and see if there's something there you like, and it should be awesome. And apart from the Halloween fan films, we still have My Special Boy crowdfunding. I think they're still crowdfunding. They might just have a few days left. Go support them if you can. And Valentine Bluffs is in demand, so they really pulled through really well. Very happy for those guys, but they're just hitting stretch goals now. So just go help them out and help them hit some of those stretch goals, so they can. I think they want to actually hit the next goal to make it a feature film. They can add a couple more scenes, and it would actually become a feature length film rather than a short film, something like that. See, we got Kyle Curtis Flett in the chat, and go check out his channel as well. He's a pretty new channel that's doing a lot of horror reviews at this time, so that's really cool. So really cool to see Kyle Curtis Flett show up in my chat tonight. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, what else do I have to say? Have I missed anything? Have I missed anybody? That's all of the fan films. We should talk about the Sawyer Massacre real quickly, though, too, because we are now less than 1 week away from our next Indiegogo campaign, and our pre-launch has gone pretty well. I'm pretty satisfied with what we've seen in our pre-launch. A lot of emails have signed up. If you haven't signed up yet, the link is in the description as well. There's a lot of links in my description, guys. Sorry. But so you kind of have to sift through all of them, I guess, to find the ones you want. But the Indiegogo pre-launch page is in the description. Less than a week before our campaign goes live, and we're still able to take pre-orders on all those early bird items. We can take pre-orders on anything, by the way, but you know, if you want to save a few bucks on a hoodie, or you know, save a few bucks on, or even one of the replica masks, you know, you can save up to, I think it was $100 on those. So pretty cool. Sign up now, though. If you haven't signed up, sign up, and then you just pre-order it through email. Pre-order it, and you'll get the perk you want. You'll get it custom for you, so you'll receive a link on the 15th when our campaign goes live, and nobody else will see that link but you. But you have to pre-order it first. And then we're excited to go live on the 15th. I feel like it's going to be pretty strong. We've had some big pre-orders already, so definitely figuring out some cool things about Indiegogo I didn't know before. You learn as you go. I love it though. I'm really happy to see a lot of people behind this, and we're pretty positive that we can hit the goal this time. It's a smaller goal, but it's only about 10K US this time, but it's still, a fair amount. We still want to hit it because this is a stretch goal campaign. If we hit that first goal, we're going to be able to add the right amount of gore that we need to the right amount of special effects is what I should really say. So if we hit that goal, we'll get the amount of special effects that I want rather than the minimum, if you know what I mean. We'll make it for the minimum, but at the end of the day, I want to, there's something, I don't want it to be a gore fest, guys. This is not about making it a gore fest, but there's a few things that happen in our film that you need a good special effects artist to do rather than just slap some blood on somebody's face and call it a day. So, that's just an example, of course. It's not like something, but you guys get the picture. So it's going to allow us for that, basically. We want to, if we hit the first goal, and then other stretch goals after that, more shooting days. That's another one that's kind of important to me. Right now, we're narrowed down to 14 shooting days. 14 days is kind of tough to film an entire feature film in. It's not impossible. In fact, one of the actors in the film was on Facebook a few weeks ago saying that he just finished a feature film that's shot in 10 days. I was like, whoa. That's no easy task, that's for sure. To shoot a feature film in 10 days. I mean, you can do it if you got if there's nothing to it. If it's all one location, and you got minimal actors, minimal crew, blah blah blah. I mean, it's possible, but at the end of the day, I can only imagine a typical feature film does not shoot in that many days, and ours really shouldn't either. Because even though right now we're looking at 14 days, I'd like to get it up to 20. I'd like to, but we'll see. We have to make sure we can afford it. So glad to see you guys are excited for it. Again, I think most of you have probably already signed up. Hey, Michelle, I just gave you a shout out, and now you're joining. That's all good. Good to see you. Glad you made it. Maybe the earlier time was not good for you. I don't know. Well, we're sticking with this if we can. We're going to stick to this early time because it's better for you guys, I think. I think most of you guys are coming from the East Coast, so I want to accommodate. There's Mandy Cantone as well. It's good to have you in the chat as well. Hey, look at all the cool emojis. That's awesome. So it's pretty cool to have you guys all in the chat, and know that this 7 p.m. time is probably... I don't think I can make it any earlier than this, because now that would be cutting into like dinner time and that kind of stuff. But, and you never know. There might be the odd... could be the odd show that I still have to do at 8. I hope not. We'll see. I hope not. Because I kind of like this. I like to stick to one time. I can't even stick to one day for you guys. So, I mean, if I could at least stick to the same time, that would be good. So I'm going to definitely try to stick to 7 p.m. until further notice. Hey, we got Eddie in the chat. What's up? There you go. So anybody else new that I missed? I hope not. I think I said hi to everybody in the chat, and we can start chatting away here. We're going to chat about horror movie tropes tonight. Okay. So before we get into this, I just want, and you guys, I would like to get some feedback on you guys. I'd like to know, this is what I would like to know from you guys. What do you, in your opinion, is the absolute worst horror movie trope? But not only that, and this is your opinion too, and I'll give you my opinions and all that kind of stuff as well. I'd also like to know which horror movie tropes you actually kind of like. Because at the end of the day, we have to remember this. These tropes are there for a reason, okay? There's a reason why they've become tropes, right? And that means at some point or another, these were popular things. And eventually they got overused. A lot of them did. Not all of them. Not every trope is like used to death. But a lot of them have, obviously. And that's why people kind of, it's, they get a bad rep sometimes, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, they're there for a reason. A lot of times they actually add something to the film. And it's actually, I would say it's impossible. It's impossible to make a horror film that doesn't have tropes. It's it's impossible. You'll always be able to find some sort of trope in a horror film, in any horror film, in anyone, because they're there. There's a reason why we're there. In a lot of ways, they make horror movies scary, but it's easy to recognize the fact that a lot of the tropes that we know of have gotten old. if that makes enough sense. Have gotten old, and it's like, oh, this kind of thing again, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. So, Stephanie has a good question here. Okay, but first, what is a trope? The actual definition, well, it's like a cliche, basically. It's a typical thing that happens in a horror movie, or it could be. I mean, a trope is something that is common in anything, really. So it's a cliche, if that makes more sense. You can Google trope and it'll come up with a more detailed explanation than that, but it's basically something that's common. I guess you would say pretty common, and something that typically will get done to death. So we'll talk about some of these first. Like, we've already talked about jump scares on the channel a bit. I did a whole top 10 of my favorite jump scares, right? So, but jump scares are typically not something that, I don't know, it's hit and miss, obviously. I say that. It's not something I typically like. I typically don't like a lot of jump scares. But I gave you my top 10 ones that I do like. And to me, it's all about how they are done. Now, if you noticed in my thumbnail, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie, for the question. Because, not everybody knows what a trope is. Maybe not everybody knows what a cliche is as well. But yeah, it's something that happens quite often. And it gets to the point where they're predictable. What was I talking about again? Oh, in my thumbnail, I used an image from 2016's Blair Witch, which for me was absolutely notorious for the worst jump scares ever. I may have mentioned it on this show before. I may have talked about it because it really pissed me off. Is every 2 minutes there was another jump scare that just, you knew it was coming. You get and they build up suspense music, and it's like, and it's just, it's nothing. It's always a jump scare without payoff. I find that jump scares without payoff annoy the fuck out of me. Now, for some people, they don't. At the end of the day, there's a reason why a lot of these popular movies are like the Conjuring movies and all that, and Insidious, and I don't know, they do nothing for me. But a lot of people love them. So, when it comes to jump scares, maybe jump scares are, there's a love-hate thing there for sure. I mean, I definitely think if they're used properly, They can be good. But, I also have, like, Googled, like, the top 10 jump scares from other people, and it looks nothing like nothing like the list I had, I'm, like, looking at their number one, like, that was that even a jump scare? So, I mean, it's, what's a jump scare to me might not be a jump scare to you, and for me, it's something that, is kind of unexpected and makes you jump. And there's usually a loud noise attached to it in some sort of way, whether it be through the score or a bang of some kind. And that's a pretty common type of jump scare. But a lot of times it's a lot of the majority of the jump scares you see in films, and this goes back probably even to the 70s. But it goes even one of my favorite Halloween sequels, Halloween 2, has got some jump scares in it that I'm like, ugh. It would be a better movie if it didn't have that, The security guard looking for whatever the disturbance was, and the cat jumps out of the dumpster or whatever. It's like, ugh. Could have done without that sort of thing. It's a reason why, I mean, Halloween 2 kind of keeps going down for me over the years. I still like it, but I also see a movie that had more potential than what it turned out, But I used to love it. When I was younger, I just used to love Halloween 2 almost as much as Halloween 1. But now as I get older, it's like, I don't like Halloween 2 as much. Still like it, but I actually like Halloween 3 more. But another interesting thing about jump scares is that a lot of people that work in the industry and are looking for new horror films, new horror scripts and stuff. And I've been approached by a few because I'm in a lot of groups that, screenwriters groups and whatnot, and horror screenwriters, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And there's, almost every, once or twice a week, you get somebody in there looking for a script for, I think it's usually for an indie company, but still, it's, they want to make a cheap movie probably for like $300,000 or less to keep it, in that bracket of an ultra low budget film. And, one of the criteria is, this one guy I remember saying, is there must be at least 14 jump. I wonder why. I remember it being 14, and I was like, why 14? God, it does seem like a lot, though. I mean, when you average out a 90-minute film, I guess it's like one every 8 minutes or so. But still, one every 8 minutes. I don't need it. For me, like 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5. I could see a good horror movie with 5 jump scares, good jump scares. But I personally feel like if you have like 14, 15, 20, 30, that many jump scares in your film, you're going to be jump scared out pretty. And by the time something really scary happens, I mean, there's not a lot of films where 14 scary things are actually going to happen. So there's going to be some of these no payoff jump scares, guaranteed. So I mean, it's and you don't want all your scary stuff to be a jump scare either. That's another thing. It's kind of stupid to go like that, in my opinion, because you want some different types of scares throughout the thing. Sometimes you just want something creepy, atmospheric, right? Not every kill is going to be a Jack in the Box type of kill, right? So it shouldn't be, anyways. Otherwise, it's just not going to be very interesting. So, so the point is, when you say 14 jump scares, it's like, well, how many of these are going to have payoff? And how many of these are going to be like, oh, that was just a squirrel. Oh, that was just the air conditioner with a, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it's, how do you guys feel about it? It's time to talk to you guys about this stuff. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I don't want to ignore the chat too much. But now that you guys are much bigger than you used to, there's more of you than there used to be. That's for sure. I remember the early days, my first 10 shows, there'd be like 5 people total, and that's okay. 5 people, 2 people, I'm still going to do this show. I just might not be able to read all the chats that happen. Yeah, Michelle, people running. We'll talk about stuff like that. That drives you crazy, though, eh? Spiral. I haven't seen Spiral yet, Jared. So don't spoil it for me. But it had jump scares in nearly every scene, huh? We'll see. Again, worst horror movie trope for me is fake jump scare. There you go. Yeah, the fake out ones. That's the fake jump scare where there's nothing attached to it. It's just, it's like this build up. Jim, where are you? Jim. And Jim comes out, hey guys, it's me. And he's really loud when he does it. You don't know where he is, and all of a sudden he's really loud, yeah. What else are you guys saying? I hate it when Jared, the Drayton Sawyer, Jared. I hate it in horror movies when someone touches blood and looks at it, looks at their hand. Yeah. People running upstairs. Yeah, it's definitely, but yeah, unexpected. I hate it when people run away from the killer but end up hiding in front of the killer. Yeah, I've seen that can happen. So I mean, if it's done well, it can work. But I know what you mean. They're running away, and then all of a sudden they hide in a place that the killer is easily going to find them or something. It's like get in the car and drive away or whatever the vehicle is. Yeah. Michelle Blasky, in H2, the little alarm going off when the nurse is trying to get a hold of the security guard. So yeah, 2 jump scares in a row. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you're right about that. It was Halloween 2. Michelle, how do you feel about the original Halloween 2? Not the Rob Zombie one. I hate Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 on a whole new level, but have I ranked the Halloween series on this channel? I don't think I've done that yet. Or have I? No, I have. I'm starting to forget. Once you get up to more shows, you forget what you've done. I have ranked them, haven't I? I think so. Have I ranked the Michael Myers masks, though? That'll be one coming up. So are tropes equivalent to fillers? That's a good question there, Chris. In a way, but in a sense, that's there's a fine line for sure. But like a trope, filler is usually just something that doesn't need to be there. And trope usually doesn't need to be there, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it helps the story a bit. So, sometimes it's filler and sometimes it's not. Yeah, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can kind of... Mandy, girls tripping over nothing tropes. Yeah, that's one I got on my list. And what are you tripping? How did you fall there? How did you fall? You reached a crack in the ground? I don't know. What else are you guys saying? Spiral was pretty nasty one. Oh boy. I don't know if I'll like it. I don't know. I've heard good things about it though. I haven't really watched too many reviews. I just heard people say that they liked it. So, but that's the thing. A lot of people will say they don't like jump scares, and then they'll say they like this movie that has all these jump scares in it. I don't get it. So like wondering, do you know what a jump scare is? Oh yeah. Man, I don't care. I'm not gonna pay money to see it if it's got jump scares everywhere. I'll wait till it's on Netflix. Yes, I have ranked. Yeah, I know. Hey, Doomsday Kingdom Armies. Sorry, I didn't even notice you there, John, for a minute there. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, thanks for sharing all my stuff there, John. Definitely when a girl runs out and trips over nothing. Yeah, I know that that might be the one that takes the cake for me. How often do you see that? And how often is that really going to happen? But, $20 to rent Spiral? Oh, come on. $20 to rent a movie on demand? Isn't it cheaper to go to the theater and watch a movie? Isn't it like $15 no, it's not. No, it's cheaper than that even. It's been a while since I've gone to the theater, mind you. But inflation, whatever. It happens. It happens. Christian Spencer also hate it when the score is building up and the music stops completely and you see the jump scare. I hate that. Yeah. Again, there for a reason, though. That score building up gives you that anticipation. But, I like it when the score is more subtle, when it's just kind of creepy sounding and it kind of stays creepy for a bit. And then maybe it even dies off a little bit before the actual jump scare. So you're not quite expecting it. You're not quite expecting it when it comes. I don't like to know exactly when the jump scare is going to happen. I guess you could say that's the thing. But anyways. Michelle, honestly, I loved H2. I thought they did a great transition from one intro to two. Opening shot with Mr. Sandman, Dr. Loomis going into detail. Well, I don't know about that. I disagree with you on that, Michelle. That's one of the things I've always kind of found it jarring and never really kind of paid close enough attention until I'm a little older like I am now. And there's just something about that opening with Loomis coming out. It just feels the tone feels so different from the original. And the worst thing is that body print in the grass. I mean, there's anything that cheesy in the original. So I don't know. That's my opinion. A body print in the grass. The more I think about it, I'm like, wow, what made them think to do? That's a little on the nose. And we knew that he ran away after the original. We didn't need to see a body print in the grass. Yet no, I'm probably the only person that ever complains about that. I think that looks horrid. But when I see people pick apart Halloween 2, they talk about how her pulse is going while she's supposed to be dead. I mean, that's something you just not a lot of people can do that. Stop their pulse. It's just little things like that bother them, or a door being open when it was closed in the previous shot. Stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's background stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a continuity error, but that bothers you, and not that, I don't know, not that imprint in the grass. I don't know why. It really bothers me. I really wish Halloween 2 didn't have that. It actually, because every time I try to watch Halloween 1 and then go right to Halloween 2, I'm like taken out of it because of that stupid imprint in the grass. And even the way Dr. Loomis is kind of acting, and that cheesy line there, you don't know what death is. I think that's a cheesy line. I don't know. That's just me. I'm going on a bit of a rant here now, but I still like the movie. Michelle, I get that for sure. I guess it worked for me because I watched them out of sequence. And yes, bloody print. Look, yeah, there's something about that, and it doesn't, in context, it doesn't work with the ending of the original. The original wasn't even a really grassy area that Michael Myers fell onto, and you did not see no imprint when he was just gone all of a sudden, right? So continuity wise, it's like continuity just kind of went out the window with that. It's like they didn't care. We're just doing it our own way, and I don't know. It bothers me. But maybe it shouldn't bother me as much as it did. But it was always one of those things that when I was younger, I didn't know why it bothered me so much. It's like, why don't these two films feel like a natural transition? They never did. But anyways, yeah. Okay. Here's another trope I don't think anybody has mentioned yet at this point. And I can see why it happens sometimes. Sometimes. When it happens too much, it's like, how many times have we seen this? And that's characters splitting up in a bad situation. Okay, so like when they say, okay, we'll split up. How about I go this way, you go this way. We'll try to avoid the killer. And what you're really doing is allowing the killer to pick you off easier. And it's, I get so tired of that one. Or you stay here and I'll go see if I can find, it's still a splitting up situation. So it's almost like the person you're leaving there you're just leaving him for dead and trying to get out yourself. I don't know. I can see it in certain situations, but I don't know. What's a good what is a good situation for that? Maybe it's not. Why split up? But it happens so much. I feel like that's another one that happens a lot, and I wish it wouldn't. And I call it every time. Well, this is stupid. Why are you doing that? And dumb decisions in general seems to be another trope. Characters making stupid decisions. Like to get high when they know that they're in trouble. Oh, I'm having too much anxiety with all this hell that's happening. I'm going to go get high. So my judgment can be even super bad, super poor, And if I encounter the killer, I'm going to be like a chicken with my head cut off and then get my head cut off. You see where I'm going with this? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? There's a killer chasing me, or there's a ghost chasing me, or there's some ghost out there. Let's go hide in this freaky house. Now, I mean, like, that's another thing is the creepiest house. And I am looking for a creepy house for my movie. But when it's a situation when they already know that there's creepy stuff going on and, they know that there's a killer out there and they decide to go in the house, that's what I don't understand. If you have it in a way where, the house, the characters don't have any idea that there's anything dangerous going on at all. Because that can happen. And I was always, I get that from being a kid. When I was a kid, I used to love to just explore creepy old houses. And you don't think twice on whether, there's a killer or there's a ghost or something in there. So it makes sense. But when you're at the point where there's some sort of creature after you, demon or killer or whatever, what have you, it doesn't make sense to go run in the house, I think. Because, you really think you're going to find somebody in there that's going to save you in an abandoned house that's dilapidated and all that, or an old school building or I don't know. I'm spitballing here, but you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Just a lot of dumb decisions made by people in horror films, and I get why that trope had started a bit. Because I think, originally they had to find ways to up body counts a little bit. And it's easier for a character to die if they're stupid. Stupidity equals death in the end. Usually. Let's see what you guys are saying about all this stuff now. Yeah, Christian Spencer. I hate when the person says, "I'll be right back," and then they end up dead. You see that coming. Yeah, when they say, "I'll be right back," and next minute they're dead. Or when sometimes I see that a lot. It's an off-screen death, and then the other person that they said that to finds their dead body, and so you see the aftermath of that rather than the actual kill. Yeah. Doomsday Kingdom Army. My biggest gripe in horror movies is running away in the middle of nowhere in woods and screaming at the top of your lungs. No No tree hides that. Yeah, that's true. Screaming at the top of your lungs. Yeah, when you're in the middle of nowhere, yeah, I can see that. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, if you're somewhere where you think somebody could possibly be there to help you, then yeah, scream. But in a lot of cases, when that happens, like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Sally finds somebody to help her, but it's not the right person. Not the right person. So I get that. I want to hide in the creepy. I mean, it is fun to do that. I mean, me and my friends, or me and my brothers even, would explore places we probably shouldn't have, because they were pretty dilapidated places. And I think I even fell through the floor in one of in one of the places I did when I was a kid. But there's something exciting about exploring these old dilapidated places. I don't know what it is. And maybe you think you're going to find something cool, or you think you're going to find a dead body. Like, oh my God, there's a dead body down there. Oh, goodness. I actually found a stolen motorbike hidden kind of in the bush behind an abandoned house. We were snooping in this abandoned... It wasn't even a house, really. It was I don't want to say... It wasn't a shed. It was like what do you call them? I forget the name, but it's like a mini house, kind of like an offshoot of a house. I don't know. We were snooping around in there, and I look out the window and I see this nice new motorbike. I'm like, "Whoa! I found a new motorbike. I'm gonna keep it." Yeah, right. It turned out it was stolen and everything. Hey, Ashen Jackal is in the chat. I've never seen you in my finally catching a live show. Thank you for tuning in, man. You still doing your reviews on your channel? It's been a while since I've checked it out, actually. So yeah, keep in touch, man. Keep in touch. Keep in touch. We're talking about horror movie tropes tonight. Horror movie tropes, and they're not all bad, but we're talking about dumb decisions right now that a lot of people make in movies. What's a common dumb decision you guys see? Lack of common sense is probably the best. Yeah. Manny Cantone. I'm the girl tripping over nothing, hiding in the creepy house and being killed first. Yeah, you probably would be killed first if all that happened. Yeah. It would be ironic if you were the only survivor. It could happen. It could happen, right? I don't know. So, what do you guys? So, what is the absolute worst trope? You guys, some of you have given me your opinion on the worst. What is the not so worst though? What is a trope when you see it, you're like, okay, that's not too bad. I can settle for that. Stereotypical characters, sometimes when they're done right. So when I say stereotypical characters, we see the group of like 5 teens. They're always about 5, late teens, early 20s, something like that, right? There's 5 of them. You've got, usually 5. I think it's about 5. So you got your final girl, who is typically the virgin, the quiet one of the group, all that. So she's the one is going to make it. Then as far as guys go, you've got your jock, and you've got your pot smoker, your drug addict type, and then you've got the bimbo cheerleader type, and I'm missing one. What's the one I'm missing? Maybe it's only 4. I know I'm missing one, though. I know I'm missing one. You know what I'm talking about, though, right? You know what I'm talking about. You know, and you can pretty much you pretty much know which one is going to get picked off first, or which ones. Sometimes it's if the bimbo and the jock hook up, if they have sex, yeah. Oh yeah, Christian said it's black guy. I don't think that's the one I'm really thinking, but that too. We said stoner. Ashton Jackal, stoner. Oh, okay. You're going to bed. Your time zone difference doesn't allow me to watch. Okay, and that's why you were able to tune into this one for a little bit. There you go. But I'm glad you were able to make it. So there you go. Another reason for me to do this earlier time, because I might get new chatters like this. There you go. Dumb teenagers getting killed off. I have to allow that. What? Because it's got the word killed. I really got to figure out how to disable that feature. I really do. Friday the 13th. Dumb teenagers getting killed off. Yeah, we've seen that. Telling the backstory of the killer in the first movie. Leave the backstory for the sequel. I don't need backstory at all for killers, really. I really don't. Unless it's done in a subtle way. So when I talk about that, I talk about last week we talked about It's Me, Billy. I think Billy is a character that has a ton of backstory to him in the original film. A ton. But it's done very subtly. It's done with a lot of ambiguity, and it brings a lot more to the character than you realize, because it comes across as if all his dialogue is gibberish, but he's actually giving you insight into him. What, even though it's ambiguity, but at the same time, he's giving you hints, and you can theorize around. I like the idea that you can actually make theories about what happened to Agnes. What did he actually do to Agnes? Is Agnes alive? Is Agnes dead? I like having that ambiguity where you can actually make your own theories on what the hell he's actually talking about, what could have happened, what kind of trauma this guy has been through. It's great. That's how you do backstory to a killer in a horror movie, through something more mystique. But when they actually get into this whole story and they show flashbacks of what happened and all this stuff, that's cheap. That's cheap in my opinion. Do it better. If you have to do it through a lot of flashbacks and backstory and prequel, if you have to do a prequel that just shows the origins of it, to me that's a little on the nose, and it's basically telling your audience that they're not smart enough to make their own assumptions about characters like that. Just saying. Oh, Ash and Jackal, cell phone's not working or car's not starting. Yeah, that was one I had on my list, actually. In the middle of nowhere, of course. I got no cell service. I mean, what? There's never any frickin' cell service in a horror film, right? Oh, yeah. I hate it. Christian Spencer, I like the jump scares when the killer is in the backseat of the car as the final girl drives away. TCM 06 remake. If you really don't expect it, that one I was kind of expecting it. I think if you really think that person's got away and it's like, oh no, they didn't. I like being able to show it more subtle though. I don't like actually having to see the whole aftermath. Again, I go back to Black Christmas on this. The ending of Black Christmas, that ambiguity. Did she live or did she? I don't like answering that question. Maybe one of the other reasons I didn't really quite grab onto It's Me, Billy as much as I wanted to, because I just love that ambiguity. The ending of the original. And if it was me, obviously I would try to keep that ambiguity in a sequel. I would still never make a sequel fan film to Black Christmas, but if I was, I would find a way to keep that ambiguity for that, at least, at least for that, because I think that ambiguity is too important. Anyways, what else are you guys saying? Giving the horror villain a tragic backstory. Yeah. But again, Billy's got it's obvious Billy's got a tragic backstory. But again, it's not giving it away. Yeah, but it was different, but it got me the first. I see what you're saying. For TCM 06. The beginning, they call that one. Yeah, no cell service. Yeah, that one pisses me off. It happens so much. I think if it didn't happen as much, I would be okay with it. But it's it's one of those tropes that once it happened once, it's just gonna keep happening. It's just gonna keep happening. Friday the 13th backstory. What, like knowing who Jason's dad is and stuff like. I don't want to know what Jason kind of relationship Jason may have had with his dad, or I don't know. I could see them doing that though. I could, because I mean Jason's at that point now. It's like, what more do you really do with him? I don't know. We kind of talked about this, but sex equals death. If you have sex in a horror film, you're gonna die, right? That seems like it's always the case. If I would personally like to see them make horror movies with some of these tropes in them, and then it's like they don't die. The obvious bimbo and the jock that have sex, they get together, and you think they're gonna die, and they end up being the only ones that live. Just saying. I don't know. Chris Keene, what trope did see the first? I think I'm misreading it. What trope did see the first time and think? Did I see the first time and think it was good at the time, and then rewatch the movie later and think maybe it wasn't the best? Ooh, that is a good question. I might have to think on that a little bit. Yeah, because I mean. Yeah, they never showed who Jason's father is, and now we have to know, right? Now, because if you're gonna do a new Friday the 13th, you gotta do something different, right? You can't just do. I mean, they did so many of those sequels in the 80s, kind of just felt like the same, doing the same, but I just think that's the problem. Is now they're forced to get into the origins of Jason a little bit. That's why I think all these horror movie villains have a shelf life, and they can only do them for so long. Some of them probably should have died a long time ago, and maybe Jason finally is done. I don't know. Maybe we've seen all we can from Jason. I just wish there was a way to make it more interesting. I don't know. Again, I think Billy is really the most interesting villain. Interesting one. Like I love Leatherface a lot too. But Billy as a villain, man. He's interesting. Oh, Brad Heath is in the chat. Hey Brad, how you doing? As I'm waving at my computer instead of the camera. Hey Brad, how you doing? But my monitor's here, my camera's here. You know how it is. You do this stuff too, Brad, so you know how it is. Yes, it has been a while. Yes, it has. Good that you can join in. We're probably not going for too much longer. We're talking horror movie tropes. The good and the bad. Because, some tropes are actually not that bad. What's one that we think, what's a trope that we see in films that is, we could see not being too bad? Again, we know the bad ones. We know probably what is the worst one for me? I don't know. Probably characters tripping over their own feet. God, I hate seeing that. God, I just really hate seeing that. Getting lost in the middle of nowhere. All that, I don't know. The tripping over their own feet, though. Tripping over nothing. I always go back to that that scene in Texas Chainsaw 3D where just, for whatever reason, what's her name, just right down the stairs, just it's almost like she jumped, you know, just fell on purpose. You know, it looked so terrible. Looked bad. It looked bad. What are we talking about here in the chat? Wrong Turn. Just watched it the other night, and it just wasn't good. Are we talking about the new one that just came out, I take it? I haven't seen it yet. It have a lot of tropes in it. Everyone's splitting up tropes. Yeah, what is with that? Why do they all stick together? Stick together, you know? I'll buy it. I'll buy it if they all. But again, they want it. They don't want to kill everybody off at once, so that's why they split up. The original, my husband wanted to watch. Okay. The House of the Devil is so full of them. I haven't seen The House of the Devil. Christian Spence. Oh, okay, don't watch the new one. Again, I haven't seen the new one, so I don't know. New one was terrible. I heard a lot of people liked it. I don't know. I haven't seen it, though. I haven't seen it, so I can't make a judgment. Did anybody in the chat like the new Wrong Turn movie? New Wrong Tim was so bad on tropes. Typo. I forgive you, Christian. I forgive you. So, I mean, the idea of sex equals death, I'm okay with it. It's a distraction, right? Any kind of distraction trope, if it's believable, because you can get people, characters can get distracted, but when you're in a pretty intense situation, probably not. Hey, Joe from Fangoria Faithful is now here as well. We're talking about horror movie tropes. I kind of want to know now, though, what kind of are there any tropes that you guys actually like? Something you see very common in a film, very often in a horror film, that actually makes you say, "I like that," even if it's been done to death. I like that. Here's one I kind of like. It's something when something is shown off screen, something is shown to the audience but not shown to the characters in the film, if that makes sense. That would actually potentially save their lives. It's like, oh, they don't know this. It's something like a news report coming on the TV. They're watching TV, and if the news comes on, they'll find out that there's a killer out there, and then they go, "Oh, I'm done watching. I'm going to bed," something like that, right? But you can see something like that happening, and it doesn't really. I don't feel like that's a trope that happens too much. So I'm okay with it. If it happened, if it happened in a way that they were like specifically waiting to watch the news on something, and it didn't, then they, for whatever reason, they took off, then I could see that, and just barely missed it, and they just barely missed what they're looking for, So I mean, it's all on how it's done. How is it done? But typically those ones don't bother me quite as much, where I like kind of the audience knowing something that the characters don't. You fear for them. You kind of like, oh no, don't do that now, don't do that, because they don't know, but we know. Just saying. Joe from Fangoria Faithful. I don't understand the logic of going way out of the way to go to the bathroom, especially when there's a tent setting. Walk 5 minutes to take a leak makes no sense. Yeah. That's actually a good one. Yeah, why would you walk that far? Because so nobody can hear your screams. But they still would. Really. Especially out in the bush somewhere. you're going to echo like crazy. If you scream once, you're going to echo like crazy. They don't think of stuff like that. Yeah. What else we got? Final Destination subway crash. Seeing the bodies fly and blood spray. You don't like that, or you do like that? There's a formula. Yeah, there's always these. At the end of the day, these tropes always come because people like them at some point. People like them. You know, the generic characters that we've seen many times. People like those characters. Now it's come to the point now where, you know, they get their fair share of complaints. But at the same time, a lot of popular horror films are made with those stereotypical characters. And I don't know if I don't know if we'll ever see the stereotypical, you know, 4 or 5 teens ever not be in horror films anymore. Because it's popular. Maybe we'll see less of them. At least I hope we'll see less of them. And again, I don't mind watching a horror film and like, oh, that's a trope. That's a trope. Sure. But it's when they're littered with these tropes. When a horror film is littered with jump scares with no payoff, I get upset. I don't like it. But we see it. Anyways. I think the trope is set there so that the audience will be disappointed with and will be looking for something bigger to happen. Yeah, I see what you mean there, Michelle. Yeah. And then when something bigger happens, they're not ready for it. You know? Yeah, I get you. Not in Bigfoot movies. Yeah, not Bigfoot. Probably not the screaming from the tent. Anyways, guys, I think that pretty much covers all the. Yeah, not a huge show today, guys. Next show might be a bit bigger. We'll see. I'm gonna be experimenting with StreamYard. I've done a little bit of experimenting so far. Because I do want to have guests on the show in the future. I might even have a guest on next week. We'll see. I'm still trying to work out all the details, but I'm looking to have a guest on next week, hopefully. If not, maybe the week after. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But the only way I can really do that is with StreamYard, I think. I have tried other things too, but it's like so complicated, and even StreamYard was a little complicated for me, but I think I've got it figured out now. So yeah, look for that. So whether I have a guest on next week or not, I'm going to do the show using StreamYard just to see if I've got all the bugs more or less. The show might seem a little bit different. I think I have to have a StreamYard logo in the corner somewhere, you know, up here, I think, in this area, general area. So hopefully that doesn't piss you guys off. But I should still be able to have like my intro and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I should be able to still share a screen. I'm learning new things about this technology stuff there, folks. Any final thoughts though before we call it a night there, guys? Yeah, just a fairly short show. But let me know if you guys do have any interesting points to make on any of these wonderful tropes we were talking about tonight. Wonderful and not so wonderful. Again, I think it's all on how they're used. But anyways. So yeah, and be ready for, I don't know if I'll be doing another show before our new campaign goes live. So like I said before, that link is in the description, guys. If you haven't signed up for our email list for the pre-launch campaign to get some of those cool early bird specials, link is in the description. You can get signed up and, you know, save some money on some of those cool perks. Not all the perks are included in early bird, but a good few of them. And you may have noticed we updated the look, the design of our hoodies and t-shirts, by the way. Oh, we got a Tiffany's in the chat. Tiffany Moses I'm gonna totally butcher that. Tiffany Moses Ciante. Probably butchered that, but let me know. Sorry if I did. People butcher my name sometimes too. But what was I talking about again? You came at the very end. Darn, I'm late. Time changed. Yes, I thought I let everybody know. I was really trying to let everybody know that the time of this show is now 7 p.m. Pacific time instead of 8 p.m. Pacific time. So an hour earlier. Remember that, guys. Next show is going to be an hour earlier, too. It's going to be 7. I'm going to try to stick to this. I did have a fair amount of you guys in the chat today. We didn't have everybody we normally have. I think we had most everybody. You know, you never get everybody that's on your show. And in fact, we had a new chat. We had Ashton Jackal, who's been a friend of mine for a while, but he's never had the chance to join my chat. So it's really cool that we got to have him in the chat tonight. Because I like having new chat. I like being able to accommodate a little bit for you East Coast fellas. And I wish I could accommodate more for people overseas. I do have a lot of good friends from overseas, but it's like 4 a.m. over there. And I should also mention I am looking at trying to bring back that general sort of movie chat to Merlo's Mega Movie Chat that I did. I just did one episode of it. But I think I'm going to do that in a live form as well. I just 11:07 p.m. here. So there you go. So it would be after midnight if it was the other show. So you don't mind, eh? Well, you're a little bit younger still though. I think some of the other chatters are into their 40s and maybe even some of these guys are in their 50s. I'm not sure. So, you know, when you get a little older, you get more tired. I remember being like 34 and, yeah, no problem. I'll stay up all night. Man, yeah, my late 20s, early 30s, get drunk, play video games. That was my life. And I would be up till 4 a.m. doing that. You know, that ain't happening now. I'll tell you that much. 10:09 here. Okay, so there you go. Christian's an hour. So, Christian, you must be Central Time. Jared, you must be Eastern Time. Now I know. And I think Michelle, are you Central? Michelle Blasky and Michelle Appollonia. Mandy Cantone. There you go. Yeah. Eastern time for most of them. A lot of you guys are Eastern time. Laser Review, yeah, you're only in your 20s. You can stay up all night. You wouldn't care when I did this, did you? There you go. So, yes, I am looking at bringing back Merlo's Mega Movie Chat. I'll do it in the live form too. It'll be a little shorter than this, I think. I say that. But like tonight's show was a little bit short. I've been kind of extending the other ones a little bit. Oh, Heather Loves Horror is in the chat as well. You came at the end. Central for Heather though. But glad you made it. Same time zone as you. Oh, really? You're Pacific. So you must be, well, I'm in Canada, but you're probably Washington, California, Oregon, something like that. Something like that. One of those three, maybe. Stephanie, which one are you in? Carlos from Laser Review, you're in Puerto Rico. Yeah, I wasn't sure where you. I wasn't sure if you're in the U.S. or not. I figured your name Carlos. It's usually like a Mexican name or something, a Spanish name of some kind. So, but you never know sometimes. Michelle Blasker, Pacific. Oh, you are Pacific time, eh, Michelle? You're in. I thought for some reason I thought you were in the Eastern time zone as well. 47 will be 48 in August. There you go. So you wouldn't like it probably if I moved my show to midnight or something, though. There you go. Fell asleep. And Michelle, both my Michelles are about the same age. There you go. There you go. I'm in GA. Is GA Georgia? I'm Canadian. Oh, Jesus, we're totally got off topic, but that's okay. What was I saying? I was talking about Merlo's Mega Movie Chat before we go, because I want to bring it back. I've been wanting to get into it because there's so many other movies I want to talk about other than horror. I love horror. Don't get me wrong. This show will be dedicated to horror, and another show will be Merlo's Mega Movie Chat will be dedicated to just movies in general, non-horror stuff. Leave out horror. But I want this show to be just horror and thriller and all that kind of stuff. We'll keep it all like that. But I want to do Merlo's Mega Movie Chat because there's so many other movie topics I want to talk about, and I feel if this a name like Merlo's Movie Massacre has to be a horror has to be a horror show. It has to be. But if I'm gonna do when I do Merlo's Mega Movie Chat, just so you guys know, it will be a different time as well. That would probably have to be something like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm thinking 2 p.m. Pacific time. So you guys on the East Coast, they'd be looking at like 5 p.m. And maybe I would go to 3 p.m. But I'm really thinking 2 p.m. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, but that's the only time in my day where I actually tend to get some free time. And who knows right now, I'm on the verge of another Indiegogo campaign, and I have to devote a lot of time to that. So it might not be as often. I want to make it a once a week kind of thing, though, too, where I can just talk about anything movie related, whether it be movies I like or movies I hate, or, any more rankings, top 10s, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, but with other movies instead. So that's what I want to do. So let me know. I'm thinking 2 p.m., though, in the afternoon here. I know some of you are going to be at work for that, but I really, there's just not, I don't have a big enough window. So hopefully some of you would be able to make it. But again, you can always watch on the replay. I just, I want to keep it live because I want to keep doing these live, whether I only have a couple people to chat with or not. Just because I find that better for me. I don't like pre-recording stuff. I did the first Merlo's Mega Movie Chat pre-recorded, and it was okay. I don't know. It feels harder for me to do that. I don't know what it is. It's hard for me to just record myself talking rather than just chat with you guys and to keep it spontaneous. I don't know what it is. Yeah, you guys are all working at that time. Well, maybe I'll do it on the weekends. Maybe I'll make it a weekend show. Would that be kind of like a Saturday show? I might be able to make that work, if I did it like every Saturday or Sunday. I could alternate between the two. Saturday or Sunday. You guys don't work on Saturdays and Sundays, I hope. Jeez. Anyways. Michelle's in California. I missed where Stephanie said she's from. Oh, California as well. Oh, you and Michelle must be best friends then. Like Michelle and Stephanie from California, you guys have to know each other, right? Like I'm Steve from Canada, and I know Bob from Canada as well. I'm not kidding. I do know Bob. I've gone off topic. Okay, I think that's it for tonight, folks. I hope that's all good. I've mentioned everything. Please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm sure you wonderful people have, though, because you guys love me, and I don't know why you love me, but you do, and it's a lot of fun doing this. A lot of fun doing these shows. I can't believe it's episode 35. So you guys have yourselves a good night, and we'll see you next week. Probably, maybe before the campaign starts. Not sure. Maybe the day of. I don't know. We'll see. But you guys have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Have yourselves a good one.